Hey everybody, welcome on our channel. In this video we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the last Jedi Lords and got Harem? Part 1. Huge shout out to KFB and I'm87 for this story. If you are new on the channel, don't forget to subscribe our channel and like the video too. So without wasting any more time, let's start the story. The Clone Wars had raged for a few years after the Battle of Geonosis, with the Republic employing cloned warriors along with Jedi as commanders and generals while their foes the Separatists had waged war using droids. The Separatists were being led by former Jedi and Count of the planet Serrano, Dooku. Tython, however, is a planet still under Republic control, as it was once home to the ancient Jedi Order after the sacking of Coruscant, an event from centuries ago where the returning Sith Empire invaded and went to war with the Republic and the Jedi. They invaded the Jedi Temple and slaughtered many, led by a powerful and dangerous Sith warrior named Darth Malgus. The Jedi of old used Tython as their temple in the aftermath until the Sith Empire were defeated. Once Coruscant was under Republic control once more, the Jedi Order moved back there. However, some Jedi did stay on Tython to oversee the remnants of the temple, the Jedi archives, and technology unable to move to Coruscant. One particular family of Jedi oversaw and defended Tython through the centuries. The Uzumaki. A family known as the last of the Jedi Lords. An ancient Jedi title from the era of Darth Bane. While none truly existed, the Uzumaki were the last line not only descended from previous lords, but were the only ones during the modern days to keep the title. The Uzumaki still were Jedi that adhered to the code, at least in the sense of the olden days. They did not believe in the idea of suppressing one's emotions. They believed that emotions were a necessary part of all life and that attachment was not a path to the dark but a way to embrace life and the Force as a whole. While some in the Jedi Order of today would classify them as Grey Jedi, they did not go against the Order in all its forms, nor do they draw on the emotions tied to the dark side to use dark side abilities like Grey Jedi did. If an Uzumaki Jedi Lord did use a dark side, they did so using the light side itself due to their natural affinity to the Force. And today was the heir to the lordship's birthday. A young man of 18 years old wearing a set of white Jedi robes with a long golden cape attached with blonde hair and sky blue eyes and 3 whisker-like birthmarks on each cheek. He stood before a red-haired woman wearing similar robes sitting on a golden throne. "Naruto, it is your birthday. You do not need to keep yourself cooped up in the palace. Go with Talon and foray across the planet," the red-haired woman said. But Mother Naruto was saying but was cut off. "No. The treasures and knowledge will be here when you return. You need not worry, your father and I can protect them ourselves," the red-haired woman, Kushina Uzumaki, said with a smile. "As you wish," Mother Naruto said with a bow and a sigh. "Try not to make me a grandmother just yet, please," the woman said with a smirk. Naruto's eyebrow twitched at this. "I am not doing that, Mother," he yelled, finally losing his composure. "I don't know the way you look at her," says differently brat. "And explain the grunts and moans I heard the other day," Kushina said with a smirk to her son. "We were sparring, damn it," Naruto yelled in frustration. "Sure you were," Kushina smirked back, seeing her son's embarrassment. Naruto grumbled to himself as he left the area. "Must you tease him, dear?" A blonde man looking like Naruto Mimas, the whisker mark, sighed out. "You think I'm bad now? Wait until he finds out he has fiancés," Kushina said with an evil grin. "Ah yes, your contracts with Talon and Ula," the blonde man named Minato nodded. "No, I mean the ones I set up recently to keep the peace with the Grand Council of Beep Wads. And also Yoda," Kushina smirked. Minato groaned at this. "Kushina, what did you do?" he asked, wondering what his wife did. "Oh, it's nothing bad. I just happened to set up a marriage contract for our son with a council member, a knight, and a Padawan." Kushina grinned cheekily. Minato said nothing at this and sighed. "You're dealing with Naruto when he finds out," he said simply. "Like I wasn't gonna already, plus he won't complain when he sees 2 of them have orange skin and the other is a blue Twi'lek." Kushina smirked. "You're playing with fire, woman," Minato sighed. "If it ends with me having grandchildren to spoil, I don't care," Kushina said before her and Minato suddenly stopped as they shivered. "Do you feel that?" Kushina asked seriously. "I'm afraid so. I feel it," the cold Minato said as the two turned around and saw a man in a black robe walking and cackling. "The Jedi Lord and Lady of Tython. I have come a long way to greet you," the man said with a vile smirk. "You're a Sith. My guess is the one the Jedi Council on Coruscant has been seeking. Am I correct?" Minato asked as he ignited a yellow lightsaber, while Kushina ignited a purple double-bladed lightsaber. "Bravo, Minato Namikaze," the man said as he pulled out 2 lightsabers from his sleeves and ignited the blood-red lightsaber blades. "Unfortunately you will not survive this encounter," the man said as he leapt at the 2 with a piercing scream, locking blades with them. "Why are you here?" Kushina yelled as she sent strike after strike at the Sith Lord. "I needed some practice. It's not often I may cut loose and fight," the man grinned evilly. "You're insane," Minato said as he sent slash after slash at the Sith Lord, who blocked his blows along with those of his wife. I suppose I could use some holocrins while I'm here. Make this trip worthwhile since you two aren't much of a challenge. The dark-robed man said. The Sith will never be able to open a Jedi holocron, fool, Kushina said. Who said I want a Jedi holocron? The Sith Lord grinned as he slashed at Kushina's saber staff and cut it in half before kicking her into a pillar. Kushina. Minato yelled, seeing his wife get sent flying before he gasped as a red blade pierced his chest. No. Kushina screamed, seeing this as she stood back up with one half of her saber staff in hand. Is this the best you Uzumaki can do? You couldn't even save your husband, the Sith Lord said mockingly as he booted Minato off his blade to the floor as if he was a waste of his time. You rag. Kushina roared as she sent a torrent of red lightning at the Sith Lord and sent him flying out a stained glass window. I was not expecting that. To use lightning of that intensity is unheard of even by the Sith. Sidious muttered as he landed on the ground below and started to leave towards his parked ship. They'll hunt you down to the ends of the galaxy. I swear. Kushina bellowed after the fleeing Sith. I should return to my office. I have spent too much time away and this mission was a failure, Sidious muttered as he got on his nearby ship and flew away. Kushina snarled, seeing this as she went back inside to prepare herself for her journey. And to let Naruto know what had happened when he returned. Lady Kushina. What happened? A green-skinned Twi'lek ran into the room. She had mid-DT cup priests, a toned curvy body, and a heart-shaped face. She had twin blasters drawn before she spotted Minato's body. By the force, she gasped. Ready my shipula, Kushina ordered. My lady, maybe we should have a funeral for. Kushina held out her hand at this as she compassed herself. We will, but I want my ship prepared in the meantime, she said as she used a force to pull Minato's lightsaber into her grasp. I'll avenge you, she swore, holding his yellow lightsaber. My lady, you always said revenge is not the Jedi way, Ula said. It's not. But from this day forward Naruto will be the only Jedi Lord. I renounce my title as I will devote the rest of my life to ending the Sith once and for all. She said fiercely. Ula nodded at this. I understand, my lady, she bowed as she left her lady to grieve. A few days later. Naruto sat silently in his new throne. His mother had given up her title and they had arranged a funeral for his father. He was worried. His mother had always taught him revenge was pointless and a fool's game. But the death of his father before her eyes made her snap. She was still the same, only with a dark passion to end the Sith. And she knew if she kept her title and went after the Sith she would be dishonoring the Jedi Order. So she had rescinded herself from the order to focus her hunt. Naruto sighed as so much had gone wrong on his birthday and now he was a lord earlier than he ever expected. You have a meeting with the council in 5 minutes, my lord, a female voice said as a red-skinned Twi'lek with cack tattoos, wearing what could be charitably described as a black leather bikini that barely contained her cup priests and showed off her model-like curvy body and plump face, entered his throne room. Thank you, Talon, Naruto said as he sat on his throne and pressed a button to set up the hologram projection. Would you like some privacy? Talon asked her lord. No. If I am to be a lord, they must meet my lady, Naruto said with a smile at the red-skinned Twi'lek. Talon smiled slightly at this and bowed her head at him. Talon had met Naruto years ago on Nar Shaddaa. She was being sold into slavery when Naruto, his father, and his mother had been on the criminal planet for a deal involving a Jedi holocron. The dealer happened to be her slaver and she was scared of being sold off. In her fear she unknowingly tapped into her force sensitivity and choked the throat of her captor, snapping his neck while reveling in her dark side power. Naruto and his family, however, were able to calm her down, bringing her away from falling too far into the dark side's hold, and was offered training by them. While they were more light-sided warriors, she considered herself gray. She wished to follow her own path and use light and dark. In order to know who she truly was, she needed both sides. As she spent the last couple years with them, she dedicated herself to protecting and serving Naruto. Especially when he gave her her own name. Remarking she was protective, beautiful, and deadly like a bird's talons. To which she adopted the name with pride. Okay, we're ready, Naruto said as he brought Talon out of her musing as she went to stand beside his throne. The holographic display lit up and showed the Jedi Council in all its glory. Who is this? I thought we were to be meeting with Lady Kushina and her husband. A human man with a beard asked. This was Obi-Wan Kenobi. State your name and what you did with the Lord and Lady of Tython, a bold Koran Jedi master said in a no-nonsense tone. This was Mace Windu. Their son you are. Happened something has it not? A short Jedi master with pointed ears and wrinkles asked. Ah, you must be Master Yoda. My father and mother have spoken highly of you, Naruto said with a smile as he nodded in respect. So you're Lady Kushina's son, a female Marylan Jedi master said with harsh tone, as she despised the idea of attachments in Jedi of any part of the order. This was Luminara Unduli. Indeed, and you're. Well, out of respect for Master Yoda, I won't use the word my mother used for you. Naruto said with a hard look at Luminara. Why have you contacted us, young man? A Keldor male Jedi asked politely. This was Plo Koon. We had a bit of an incident on Titan. My father was killed by a Sith. We believe the one you have been seeking. Naruto explained. And your mother? Luminara asked with a sneer. She relinquished her title and left the planet to pursue the Sith, Naruto said, taking a calming breath. Revenge? What a waste. The fact that woman considers herself part of the Jedi Order is an affront, Luminara scoffed. Pardon my rudeness, but I did not call to hear you insult my mother, Naruto said with a glare. Indeed you did not, Yoda said with a nod. Let's all take a calming breath. What can you tell us about the Sith, young one? An Nautolan Jedi Master asked. This was Kit Fisto. From what my mother said is that he concealed his presence via his dark hood but was that of an elderly human male with what was revealed. However, he moved unlike one should be able to. Saying he was able to move unbelievably flexible and do many erratic flips. He wielded 2 red lightsabers with skills beyond most masters, Naruto explained, while Talon placed a comforting hand on his shoulder as he relayed this info. It seems your mother indeed did encounter the Sith we are seeking, Yoda said as he closed his eyes. Thank you for keeping us informed, Lord Uzumaki, Obi-Wan said as he stroked his beard in thought. I would also like to help you all with the war. While guarding Titan is my duty, if a Sith can easily infiltrate despite our security, then they clearly are too big of a threat to have any Jedi sitting on the sidelines. Very well. Send clone security to Titan we will. Yoda said. Which Jedi shall we send with them, Master Yoda? Obi-Wan asked curiously. I suggest Night Isla Sakura. She is not in any crucial battle with her forces at the moment and we can always send some new clones to replace her when we need her and her team. Kit Fisto suggested as it would be temporary. Indeed, plus your mother would want you to meet one of your fiancés, Yoda said with a nod. Say what? Naruto questioned with a twitching eyebrow. She didn't tell you? Obi-Wan asked with a raised eyebrow. Force damn it, Mom, Naruto groaned as Talon patted his back while trying not to laugh. It would seem your mother is still a reckless fool, Luminara said. Alright, I have had, Naruto was yelling before the communications were cut off. Oh hell no. Naruto said as he set them back up and appeared and looked directly at Luminara. Listen here, you pathetic excuse for a Jedi master, you do not ever hang up on me again or insult my mother or I'll do what should have been done to you years ago and tan your backside with Master Yoda's cane. Naruto yelled before he looked at Master Yoda. Pardon my rudeness, I look forward to meeting you very soon, Naruto said as he disconnected. I like this kid, Kit Fisto chuckled. How dare he, Luminara growled out in anger trying to keep her composure. It would seem the young Uzumaki has my old apprentice's fiery spirit, Yoda said with a chuckle thinking of Kushina. It does sadden me to hear of what became of my former apprentice, Mace Windu said as he closed his eyes at Minato's passing. You two are really gonna allow him to mock our code? Luminara asked in disbelief. The Uzumakis are a different form of Jedi, Master Luminara. But they are still Jedi. They deserve respect regardless whether they follow our code fully or not. They are still allies, Obi-Wan said with a firm tone. And yet we must force out several Jedi to appease our so-called allies, Luminara glared. Now it wasn't forced. The ladies in question do have a choice after all, Kit Fisto said holding up his hands peacefully. Is this meeting over, Master Yoda? Luminara asked Master Yoda. Adjourn, this meeting is, Yoda said as Luminara got up and quickly left. With Naruto. Naruto sat at his throne as he tried to establish communications with his mom's ship. What do you need, brat? Kushina asked as her holographic image appeared. Oh, nothing except you set me up with fiancés, Naruto bellowed out making the room shake. Talon, you told him? Kushina asked with a raised eyebrow. No, my lady, it was Master Yoda, Talon said with a bow. Damn it, you old bastard. You finally pranked me. Kushina shook her head chuckling. It wasn't even a prank. Please tell me you didn't set me up with that Maryland Jedi master. Ugh, I'm not cruel, Naruto. Give me some credit, Kushina said with a shudder at the very idea. I will give you no credit after that fiasco on Zeltros, Naruto grumbled. So much boozing, corpses, and strippers. So you don't want to see what the 3 I picked look like? Kushina asked with a smirk, as while Naruto did show the fairer sex respect, he still had a tendency to check attractive women out. Proceed, Naruto sighed as he knew he may as well see who he's engaged to. Kushina laughed at this before 3 images of 3 women appeared. One was a young Togruta female that seemed to be a year younger than Naruto. She had low D cup wrists, a plump face, and toned body. One was another Togruta woman with red skin, only much more mature than the other. She had mid E cup wrists, a toned slightly curvy body, and a heart-shaped face. The last was a blue-skinned Twi'lek female. She had E cup wrists, a model curvy body, pillowy heart-shaped face. Naruto's eyes widened at the 2 Togruta women. Damn it, Mom, he thought as his mom knew he loved the color orange, which was what one of the woman's skin was. Ooh, another Twi'lek. Me and Ula can have some fun with her since she's getting sent here, Talon grinned. Mom, I don't need fiancés. I have Talon and Ula, Naruto said. It can be broken at any time after a year, brat. I want you to at least get to know them. If it works, wonderful. If it doesn't, you have your 2 Twi'leks to plow, and yes, I know you have been fooling around with them," Kushina said with a smirk. "What gave it away?" Talon asked with a sheepish look at being called out. "You and Ula limping and the fact you both have slave girl outfits in your closets. Plus your collar that says property of Naruto in the same closet," Kushina deadpanned. "Damn it, Mom," Naruto said with a groan and a blush. "Hey, I'm not judging, I would be worried if you didn't take them into your bed," Kushina said with a laugh. "Yeah, the bed. Definitely didn't tunk on your guys' thrones," Naruto said sheepishly. "I'm gonna kill," Kushina was bellowing before Naruto hung up. "Well, at least now she knows and approves of me and Ula," Talon said with a sigh. "If she didn't, I would kill her," Naruto said with a frown. "Let's be honest here, my lord. You'd try and she'd eviscerate you," she said with a smirk, knowing her lord's mother was hard to beat. "Yay. But you're worth it," Naruto said with a smile at his Twi'lek lover. Talon smiled and kissed his cheek. "You're sweet. But since we have a few hours before your new fiancé arrives, wanna get a little crazy?" Talon purred out as she reached his hand into his pants. Naruto shuddered at this and sighed as he pulled her into his lap. "Let's christen my throne," Naruto smirked. "You two better not do this without me," Ula said as she entered the room. "Of course not, my fellow harem sister. You know our lord has high stamina and needs us both," Talon said with a mischievous smile. Lemon scene happened. Hours later. Jedi Knight Ayla Sakura arrived on Titan with her clone force, the 327th Star Corps. "The palace grounds are secure, General," a clone commander by the name of Bly said to his Jedi general. "Thank you, Commander. I shall meet with the Jedi Lord and debrief him then before we move inside the palace," Ayla said as she turned away. The clone troops all saluted as Ayla left to head inside and meet with the Jedi Lord. Knowing protocol stated in this scenario, they needed his permission to enter the palace before they could eat security. As she approached the door to the throne room, she heard grunts and moans echo through the hallway as she walked. "He must be training. I've heard rumors of him being a duelist on par with Knight Skywalker and Master Cinderella," Ayla said to herself. She approached the door and slowly opened it to peek inside. What she expected to see and what she saw were two very different things. "Ah. Millard, please. You have a meeting soon," Talon panted out as she was on her hands and knees. Naruto growled as he smacked Talon's face possessively. Ayla watched this with wide eyes. Especially after seeing the size of his beep after he pulled out of Talon. A part of her was scared of seeing this. Especially with her knowledge that in order to keep the peace with the Jedi Lords, that she had a marriage contract with this boy. But another part of her, one buried by many years of service to the Jedi Code, made her womanhood moisten at the sight. "Are you Jedi Knight Ayla Sura?" Ula asked from behind the Jedi Twi'lek. "Ah. Yes, I am," Ayla said as she used a force to close the door while she turned to look at Ula, seeing the green-skinned Twi'lek was nude. Ula nodded at her as she put on some clothes. "Is this normal?" Ayla asked, gesturing at the closed door. "Just recently, since my lord has matured," Ula said with a smile as she finished getting dressed into a spare guard uniform. "Why did he seem so animalistic?" Ayla asked, not expecting a Jedi, even one not technically following the code fully, to be capable of that. Ula chuckled sheepishly at this. "I'm afraid that's my fault. He has a medical condition involving those whisker-like marks on his face. They are very, very sensitive. When they are kissed or licked, he is known to purr. However, should a woman scratch them, well, he turns into that for any women in the same room as him," Ula explained. "So what is he like when he's not like that?" Ayla asked curiously while wanting to know more about the young lord. And trying not to hear Talon's gagging sounds from beyond the door. "He is very skilled combatant with a lightsaber and the force, and very cunning, as he is a bit of prankster, much like his mother was, I believe, when she was training under your grandmaster. However, he is also very kind. He found Talon and myself in two separate but very similar situations where we were enslaved and freed us. Giving us a new life than being slaves," Ula said with a smile. "And to thank him you two became his lovers?" Ayla asked, confused. Ula shook her head at this. No, that happened just recently. At most a year ago, Ula explained. He never forced us into anything. And Lady Kushina actually encouraged it for all of us. Mostly due to her wishes for grandchildren to spoil, but her blessing was wonderful to have, Ula said. "So he cares about you?" Ayla asked curiously. "Oh yes, my lord is very loving and kind. We are not slaves to him unless it's in the bedroom for roleplay. He detests slavers actually. Even killed a hut on Koak to free me," Ula said, knowing that particular hut brought her and some Trandoshan hunters to the planet because it wanted a pet Koakian monkey lizard and was offering her body as payment to the hunters. Luckily Naruto was there on separate Jedi business and ended the hunters and the hut, freeing her and giving her new purpose as a guard for his family. Ayla nodded at this, seeing that Ula was being truthful. "Okay, I'm guessing your troops need something." Ula asked, knowing that with Naruto busy with Talon, she would need to help. Yes, we need the Lord's permission to allow the clone troopers to enter the palace and set up security measures, Ayla said. Ula nodded at this. Okay, I have the authority to okay that. On the condition no clones enter the throne room until Millard is finished. Ula said. Indeed, Ayla said after a pause as she tried to keep a growing purple blush off her face. Don't worry, I'll be sure to tell him you're here when he's done. And I'll keep watch on the throne room until he's finished. Unless you wish to keep watch in my stead, Ula said teasingly. Ula. Get your green face in here and help me. Oh Tunk. Talon yelled through the door as the sounds of flesh slapping flesh sounded from behind the large throne room doors. Well, time to tag in, but feel free to tell your troops to set up whatever is needed barring entering the throne room, Ula said as she opened the throne room door and entered, closing the door behind her. Ayla blushed at this before jumping at Ula's immediate shout. Ah. My lord is such a fierce lover. Ruin my holes. Ula screamed out in lust. Ayla's blush grew even larger before she shook it off and went back to her clone forces. General. Do we have permission? Commander Bly asked, seeing the GD general return. Yes, just stay away from the throne room. I shall watch over it myself, Ayla said with a massive blush, knowing she couldn't leave the throne room unguarded since Ula was. Preoccupied. A few hours later. Ayla was sitting on the ground, her back to the throne room, waiting and meditating while she waited. Oh god, my face. Talon yelled, breaking her concentration. How long have they been at it? Ayla muttered. Oh, we're done, I'm just messing with you, Talon said with a smile as she opened the doors and limped out in her clothes along with Ula, who was also smiling. And limping. Our lord will see you now. And don't worry, he's normal now. We just had to tire out his beast mode, so to speak, Ula giggled. I thought we agreed on feral Tunk mode. Talon asked with a raised eyebrow. Ayla ignored this as she walked past them towards the throne room. Welcome, Knight Sakura. I do apologize for the inconvenience, Naruto said sheepishly with a respectful bow, as he didn't know how else to describe it to the GD Knight. Also not aware she had seen and heard him for a majority of it. It's quite alright. Your guard was able to help out while you were preoccupied, Ayla said after a pause and a respectful bow of her own. Naruto nodded at this. So tell me, how can I help you? He asked politely as he sat in his throne. Well, Lord Uzumaki, Ayla was saying before Naruto interrupted her. Please call me Naruto. I would hope because of my mom's actions in making you one of my fiancés, you would at least call me by my first name, Naruto said with a smile. Very well, Naruto. We have the new security systems in place for the rest of the palace. We just need your permission to set them up in here. Ayla said respectfully. Naruto nodded at this. Very well. I shall retire to my chambers to allow you and your men access to the throne room. Naruto said as he stood up from the throne. You don't wish to oversee us install the systems? Ayla asked, surprised seeing as it was his throne room, which would be very personal for him, given it was his mother and father's as well. No, I can feel that you're as trustworthy as you are beautiful. I would just get in the way of your men. They have my full permission to modify what they need to better protect this palace and its GD secrets, Naruto said with a kind smile to the Twi'lek GD Knight. Ayla blushed a little at this but composed herself as she nodded. Understood. We shall be done tomorrow and spend some time showing you and your guards the new security measures. Ayla said. Naruto nodded at this as he left the throne room. As he walked down the hall he spotted Talon and Ula waiting for him. I like that one, Ula said with a smile. Me too. And we'll have a new Twi'lek to play with, Talon smirked. Behave, she's not used to this kind of thing, Naruto said as he walked past his two lovers who followed him. Fine. We'll be nice. For now, Talon smirked. Naruto said nothing but smacked Talon's face hard at this. Oh, was that you? I thought it was the wind, Talon mocked. Bed in my chambers now, Naruto growled at his lover. Not without me she isn't, Ula told them as she unzipped her guard shirt, slightly showing her cleavage. Talon and Ula led the way to Naruto's chambers, swaying their faces at him as they walked inside, opening the door for him before closing it for their continued night of passion. Early morning the next day. Ayla walked the halls of the palace, taking in the artworks of the previous GD Lords. You a fan of art? Naruto asked as he made his presence known behind her wearing his royal robes. The GD temple does have its own art and scripture, but the art here is amazing. Usually only legendary GD get artwork, but to see so many past lords is admittedly astonishing, Ayla said. All GD should be remembered, I feel, even if their code is flawed, Naruto said with a nod. Flawed? Ayla asked, turning to him in surprise. Naruto turned to look at Ayla. I don't want to upset you, Naruto said with a frown as he didn't wish to offend an ally. No, please, I wish to hear your thoughts, Ayla said as she was more curious on his input than offended. Her own struggles with the dark side of the Force made her a bit more interested in others' beliefs than most GD were. Naruto sighed at this. Well, for one, the GD of the Old Republic Long before the days of Revan taught that while emotions lead to the dark side, they work to help Jedi channel their emotions, not suppress them. All sentient species feel emotions after all. It is in our nature to love, to lust, to feel. If we cut that out of us, we become less emotional than droids. Naruto said. Ayla said nothing at this as she let Naruto's words linger in her mind, reminding her of something Qui-Gon Jinn would have said before his death. Another issue is that the Jedi claim to be peacekeepers yet fight in a war. I will not say their presence isn't needed, but this is not the first war they have fought in. Many Jedi left to join Revan, and even after Malak fell and the Sith emerged again under Vitiate, the Jedi fought against them. Even losing the temple to the Sith and having to come here to Tython to prepare new Jedi to face them at the time. He said, looking at a picture of the Grandmaster of that time, Satel Shan, descendant of Revan himself. The Jedi have been drawn into conflict after conflict, always claiming to do it in the name of peace and tranquility. While I do not fault their wish to protect others, I do not like the hypocrisy that comes with that claim. Naruto explained. Lastly, I don't like how political the order has become, where it takes orders from the Senate and even the Supreme Chancellor. Naruto said. You don't trust the Senate? Ayla asked curiously. They're politicians who pretend to care about the planets they represent, but most of them don't. They use the war as an excuse for why their planets are ravaged or their people are being killed, but in reality they use it to drum up support and funds for themselves. Naruto said. No, you sympathize with the separatists? Ayla asked, wondering where this was going. The separatists are not wrong truthfully with wishing to separate from the Republic, but I do not approve of their methods of a droid army to wage war to gain their separation. However, the Republic's insistence on not letting them leave willingly probably forced their hands. And now innocent people on numerous planets have to die every day because of political greed. Naruto said seriously. Ayla frowned as she thought about this, as she did see the truth in Naruto's words. General. A clone trooper yelled as he ran over. What is a trooper? Ayla asked calmly as she felt this was important. We have received a request for help from General Kenobi. What's wrong? Naruto asked with a frown, as Obi-Wan was one of the few Jedi he respected. He wishes to speak to you two immediately in the throne room, sir. The clone nodded. Naruto nodded as he led Ayla to his throne room, where he saw a holographic image of Obi-Wan. What is the problem? Ayla asked, hoping it was nothing serious. Greetings, Knight Sakura and Lord Uzumaki. I apologize, but I need some assistance with a code, Skywalker Obi-Wan said with a sigh. What did he do this time? Ayla asked with a sigh. Nothing yet, but he will. Obi-Wan said with a deadpan tone. Problem, child? Naruto asked with a chuckle. You have no idea, Ayla and Obi-Wan said simultaneously. And his apprentice is worse, if you can believe it, Ayla said, shaking her head. What's the problem? Naruto asked, wanting to hear what happened. He is supposed to be learning a new secret weapon and has been investigating sightings for it. However, we recently lost contact with Master Plo Koon and his fleet nearby to Anakin's, Obi-Wan explained. Let me guess, he went off to go save him instead of obeying orders. Naruto asked with a smirk, as he would do that too. It's not that he did, it's that he will. I was hoping to request your aid in investigating the area and searching for survivors so that Anakin may focus on his actual task. Naruto nodded at this. Very well, I'll help along with my own team, Naruto said. Your own team? Obi-Wan asked curiously. Oh yes, you haven't met Talon and Ula yet. And the last member is currently being repaired after an intense spar with Ula. Naruto explained. That scrap Brian had it coming. He called me a meatbag. Ula yelled as her and Talon entered the room. This isn't an excuse to sate your lusts on Republic peril, is it? Obi-Wan questioned. No, when on a mission I focus, Naruto said seriously. Though we can't promise he won't do something after the mission, Talon said with a small smirk. You were with him during the meeting the other day. I'm surprised I didn't feel the force from you then, Obi-Wan admitted, astonished. Well, Talon is good at concealing her presence, Naruto said with a smile at his lover's skills. I didn't realize she was force sensitive either until now. I sense the light yet also the dark in you, Ayla said, looking at Talon. Yes, she is what we call a grey Jedi. Naruto said with a nod. I like Jalid Bindo from the days of Revan. Only less crankiness, Obi-Wan mused. Indeed, though, if something threatens my lord or Tython I may become cranky, Talon said with a glare. Very well, you may use your team and whatever ship you wish. Ayla and her forces will remain as protection on Tython while you are away. Naruto nodded at this. Be sure to tell the Council of Morons that if they have a problem with Talon, that they can shove, he was saying before Ula covered his mouth. We will leave right away, General Kenobi, Ula said as Kenobi's hologram disappeared. Yeah, after we grab HK, Talon said with a chuckle at Ula's sneer. Oh joy, Ula said with a flat look as she uncovered Naruto's mouth as Obi-Wan hung up. The hunter-killer droid? Ayla asked in shock, as the only Jedi that made and used one was Revan before he fell to the dark side. And after he fell. And when he became good. And then when he went crazy trying to commit genocide on anyone with even a percent of Sith Gna. Indeed, but don't worry, he's loyal to me. He'll just call everyone a meatbag unless I order him to attack someone, Naruto said. I fucking hate that droid, Ula grumbled out. Yeah, but damn, he's effective, Talon said with a chuckle. Remember what he did on Nar Shaddaa? She asked. I try not to, Ula said flatly as they all left the throne room. Oh come on, that crime syndicate had it coming, Talon said. Nobody deserves to have a blaster shoved in their mouth while a droid yells, and I quote, show me how you suck, that Ula was saying before Naruto held up his hand. Okay, we get it, Ula, but we need to get moving on this mission, Naruto said as he shook his head while Ila blushed at what was being said. And also looked horrified at what was being said. Hey, I still loved him taking out a bounty hunter with a pen. That was awesome, Talon smirked. He called it a magic trick and shoved it in the guy's eye, Ula deadpanned. And how magical a kill it was, Talon chuckled as the three left to get the droid for their mission. Alice docking bay. Oh master, it is wonderful to be out of that horrid droid experimentation lab, the golden HK droid designated as HK-57 said happily. That's what happens when you insult Ula, buddy, Naruto said with a chuckle. All I did was inform her of her meatbag status like I do all organics. Except for the master, of course. You are a liquidous flesh bag at worst, HK-57 said. Keep it classy, HK, Naruto said with a chuckle. Speaking of classy, where is your meatbag mother and father, master? The droid asked curiously. Dad was killed by a Sith Lord and mom is off hunting for the guy, Naruto said sadly. Who did it? I'll kill that meatbag. He was mine to kill. HK yelled as he pulled out two blasters. Mom's already hunting that bastard down, Naruto said with a hard look. Ha! He will wish it was me who finds him. That woman is the only meatbag I respect. Why, if I were an organic I'd probably be in love, HK said as Kushina was tunking terrifying in a fight. Okay, we have a mission, HK, so follow us, Talon said. Right behind ya, red meatbag. Who's the new blue meatbag? Is she a new sexual conquest master? HK asked Naruto, gesturing to Ayla, who blushed at the implication while stating mouth agape at the crazed droid. No, she's a GD we're working with for this mission, Naruto said as they walked towards a nearby ship. Wait, we're working with GD. Oh, my progenitor is rolling over in his scrap heap, HK-57 said with a head shake. I don't think Revan's HK-47 would care, Naruto deadpanned. Your droid is. Unique, Ayla said. I'm one of a kind, blue meatbag. Bask in my awesomeness, HK-57 said as he held his hands out for others to revere him. Urge to kill rising, Ula said with a twitching eyebrow. Why did your mother create him? Talon asked curiously. She wanted a bodyguard for me that wouldn't hesitate to put down others. Unfortunately, she accidentally set up the meatbag protocol in all HK units, and since I was considered its master, it called her a meatbag. Naruto chuckled as his mother constantly threw the droid she built through walls and yelled at HK for calling her that. Okay, here we are at the ship, Ula said as they stopped at a ship that was a Corellian IT-1300 light freighter that was gold painted and had white accents. What do you call it? Ayla asked curiously. The Golden Eagle. My dad named it, Naruto said, smiling sadly at the ship. Knowing it was a gift to him from his father. Ayla placed a hand on his shoulder and smiled at him, hoping to offer some comfort to him as he reminisced. Master, we have a mission, so if you are wishing to engage in sexual intercourse with a blue meatbag, I suggest you do it on the ship, HK said. I'm not doing that, you metal idiot. Naruto yelled as him and his team got on the freighter as Ayla watched them leave. Alright, HK, punch it. Naruto ordered as HK sat in the pilot seat. Let's kill some meatbags. HK yelled happily. It's a stealth mission, Ula said flatly. Thunk that I'm out. HK yelled heading back down the ramp. Sit down, I need you as a pilot, Ula told him. I don't answer to you, green meatbag. HK yelly. HK, you're the best pilot on the team, so I need you, Naruto said, deciding to play on the droid's pride. Nope. If there's no killing meatbags, I'm out. HK said firmly. Okay, guess Ula and Talon will have to pilot then, Naruto smirked, knowing that would piss him off. Them? They are only good at sucking you off. I'll do it. HK yelled as he sat down to pilot. Ula growled at this and pulled out a metal spike she used to stab opponents before Naruto patted her on the head to calm her. So will we at least be killing meatbags in the future? HK asked. Well, we are helping with the war, so absolutely. Yes. My prayers have been answered. Wahahaha. We joined the separatists. HK cackled as he started the ship. No, we're working for the Republic, Ula said smirking. Ooh. Droid genocide. HK bellowed in horror. Are we there yet? Talon asked, flatly, sounding bored as this was normal for them. We will get there when we get there, red meatbag. If you are so bored, why don't you and the green meatbag fulfill your primary directive of breeding with the master? HK suggested, not wanting to deal with their bullshit. I like the sound of that, Ula said as she stood up from the copilot seat. Ditto. Talon smirked as she approached Naruto. Fine, but only around each, Naruto said as they were on a mission and needed some focus. Talon and Ula led Naruto into a different room on the ship to have fun, while HK flew them to their destination. Ignoring the screams, moans, and sounds of flesh hit him flesh. Ugh, organics shooting gnaw at each other. I find it offensive. HK yelled. Thunk off Robo Beep. Tunk me hard Millard. Ula yelled. God, you're such a naughty little Twi'lek. Naruto was heard grunting while Ula squealed in pleasure. We're your naughty Twi'lek fours, Master. Talon purred out. This is gonna be a long flight, HK groaned as he flew the ship towards their mission destination. The Golden Eagle came out of hyperspace in the last known coordinates of Master Plo Koon. The Abrogado system. Master and meatbags, we have arrived in the Abrogado system. HK-57 said. Would it be asking too much you don't call us that? Ula asked as she, Naruto, and Talon came into the cockpit. Seeing as it would be against my programming, yes, HK said simply. I'm gonna kill him, Ula said simply as she finished adjusting her pants. You do realize if you strike me down, I will just unleash the droids that the factory makes on Tython, the Master's meatbag mother created, right? HK questioned. Those were decommissioned, buddy, Naruto said simply as he sat down in his seat. The ones your mother created to start, yes. I was able to restart production last year. HK informed them. I know, but I changed their programming to protect the planet and not obey you if it involves killing meatbags, Naruto said with a smirk. Damn it. HK yelled. I feel something in the Force, Talon said as she looked out of a window. Did the Master ruin your fast saga? HK was saying, but was cut off. No, you idiot. There's a ship coming out of hyperspace right now. Talon yelled. Though you did beg me to, Naruto was saying before Talon looked at him with an unamused look. Ula looked outside the window and saw a ship come out of hyperspace. It looks like a Republic make ship, Ula said. So no blasting? HK asked disappointedly. You'll get your chance later, buddy. Naruto told him with a chuckle. The Republic ship flew directly towards them and a communication signal was initiated. Seems they want to chat. HK patched through. I'm pretty sure this is the Skywalker Kenobi mentioned, Naruto said. HK flipped a switch and opened communications with the ship. Unidentified ship, state your business in the Abrogado system, a male GD asked. What business is it of yours, meatbag? You sound like a whiny bitch, HK was saying, but was cut off. Naruto flipped a switch on the back of the droid's head and muted the droid who started to move around, trying to reach the switch on back of his head. Apologies, Knight Skywalker. This is Jedi Lord of Tython, Naruto Uzumaki. The council sent me to investigate the disappearance of Master Plo Koon, so you may return to your fleet, Naruto said. Jedi Lord? A female voice asked curiously over the communication. I was not informed of any of this. Who gave this order to you? Anakin asked seriously. General Obi-Wan Kenobi, Naruto said. We would like to board your ship if that is alright, Anakin said, not trusting this. Obi-Wan would have mentioned it to him after all. No problem, I'm more than happy to have you on my ship, Naruto said. Just ignore the insane droid, Ula said as HK continued to try in vain to unmute himself. Copy that, stand by for docking, Anakin said before cutting communication. He's gonna attack us, Talon said deadpan. Skywalker HK? Ula asked with a chuckle at the muted droid who made an obscene gesture with his hand at her. I should probably unmute him, Naruto said before flipping the switch. With a wrench in your meatbag genitals. HK shouted after being unmuted. We get it, HK, don't kill anyone, set blasters for stun, Naruto said with a sigh. That is the worst thing you've ever said to me, Master, HK said as he looked at his master. What about the time I said I would reprogram you into a nanny bot? Naruto asked curiously. This is somehow worse. At least with reprogramming I ceased to exist so I wouldn't be able to hate myself about what I've become. But using stun on a blaster? What kind of pacifist space hippie do you take me for? HK questioned. They then heard the doors open and saw two figures make their way into the ship. Master, I don't think this is a trap, the female Tigrita said to the human male next to her. These were Ashoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker. It's not. We really were sent by General Kenobi, Naruto said simply. Do you have any proof? Anakin questioned. I can call him. That enough proof? Naruto asked. I'll call your bluff, sure, call him, Anakin smirked. If this was a trap they wouldn't contact him and he'd just take them out. HK, patch us through to General Kenobi, Naruto ordered. HK did so and a few keystrokes at the communicator later. Lord Uzumaki. How goes that code, Skywalker? Obi-Wan's hologram appeared before looking at Anakin and Ahsoka. Apparently well, he said flatly. Why didn't you call me? Anakin questioned. I did. Several times telling you to stay with your fleet. The Chancellor as well. You kept hanging up on us when we tried to tell you we had someone investigating Master Plo Koon's disappearance, Obi-Wan said flatly. Who are these guys? Ashoka asked curiously. I am Jedi Lord Tython Naruto Uzumaki. With me are the captain of my guard Ula, the lady of the grey talon, and Naruto was introducing them until HK cut him off. The only droid worth a damn in the galaxy, Tangerine Meatbag. HK-57. HK introduced himself. Do you have a HK unit? Anakin asked Naruto with a raised eyebrow. Revan made one in the past, and no one batted an eye. I have one and everyone thinks I'm some psycho lunatic, Jedi. Naruto groaned. You are. Talon deadpanned at her lover. Hey, I'm only crazy about you, Naruto said with a smirk at the red Twi'lek, who smirked back. How is he considered a Jedi? Ahsoka questioned Obi-Wan. It's a very long story, so I'll contact you about it as soon as you two get back to your fleet, Obi-Wan ordered them seriously. We'll return right away, Master. Just as soon as. Wait, what's that? Anakin yelled, pointing out the window before clicking off the communication button. Naruto chuckled at this as he liked Anakin's attitude. Did that meatbag just touch my ship? HK questioned calmly. Eerily calmly. No blasters, HK, Naruto told him. Fine, HK said as he put away the blaster. Or swords, or knives, or your fists, or your feet, or that pipe you keep under your chair, Naruto deadpanned. Fine, I won't hurt the Jedi meatbag or your betrothed Tangerine Meatbag, HK sighed. Betrothed? Ahsoka questioned as her eyes widened in surprise. God damn it, HK, Ula said as she rubbed her forehead. It was bound to be learned anyways, Green Meatbag, HK said simply. It's called subtlety, you bag of rusty bolts. Ula yelled. Bite my shiny metal fast, you lime-colored twat. HK yelled back. Crash. HK's head was sent flying off his body by a kick from Ula. Interesting droid. Though his butt doesn't look that shiny, Ahsoka said after a moment of silence. Shinier than yours, meatbag. HK's head yelled right by her leg, making her jump back. How are any of you affiliated with the Jedi? Anakin questioned, utterly confused. We can explain it later, for now we should try tracking down Plo Koon, Talon said simply. Ula, can you put back his head? Naruto asked. Do I have to? Ula asked. I'll make it up to you later, okay? Naruto asked with a smile as he patted her on the head. Round slave girl outfit with chains, Ula said. Fine, but watch the talk with these two, we don't want to scare them, Naruto said, gesturing to Anakin and Ahsoka. Too late, Anakin said simply while Ahsoka blushed at the implications of what Ula said. Well, this is awkward, Naruto sighed. Our sensors indicate life forms in this debris field, Master, HK said after his head was brought back on. You have mass life sensors? Anakin questioned as that was rare in ships these days. We spare no expense, Jedi Meatbag, HK said as the ship approached the debris. I'm seeing a lot of debris and escape pods having been ripped apart, Naruto said looking at the destruction. I sense something. As if a powerful force signature is in battle, Talon said. You're force sensitive? Ashoka asked Talon. I'm the lady of the Grey Child. I'm a Grey Jedi. Most likely the only one, Talon told her. That's a thing? Anakin asked with a raised eyebrow as this was new to him. It was more prevalent during the wars of old between the Republic and the Sith Empire. Many Jedi that turned to the dark side or dark Jedi that turned back to the light had at times become a Grey Jedi. Naruto. So they are both light and dark? Ashoka asked curiously. To us Grey Jedi there is no light or dark. There is just the Force, Talon said simply. It's not very common practice these days. There was a council member in your order a few decades ago that was considered the closest to being one, however he was slain in battle and never truly became one. I only know of him as my mother and father had a few interactions with him and his Padawan at the time, Naruto informed them. Who was it? Anakin asked as he knew most of the past Jedi Masters by name. My mother mentioned him only briefly to me. I believe it was Qui-Gon or something, Naruto said. Anakin's eyes widened in surprise at this, but he said nothing as he didn't expect Qui-Gon of all Jedi Masters as close to being a Grey Jedi. I see combat, Master, HK said as they came upon an escape pod with droids attacking it. Naruto looked and said, attack the droids, HK. Finally. It's not meatbags, but I'll take it. HK yelled as he fired a laser blast at the pod hunter droids. Ending them in an instant. Well, that was disappointing, HK sighed. You're okay with destroying your own kind? Ashoka asked curiously. Don't compare them to me, I'm one of a kind, Tangerine Meatbag. Besides, these battle droids are morons and need to be exterminated. What self-respecting combat droid can't kill a Jedi while having them completely surrounded? HK asked as he stopped the ship in front of the escape pod. Not every droid is you, HK, Ula told him as she rolled her eyes at the crazed droid's antics. Thank the Force, Talon grumbled out, as well she didn't pray a lot, this was one time she would. Exactly, but I'm sure a protocol droid would get more kills on a Jedi than those worthless toy soldiers the separatists use. HK proclaimed. Naruto threw on a mask, walked out of the ship and over to the pod and used the Force to pull it close to his and Anakin's ships to get the survivors inside. A few moments later. Master Plo. Ahsoka said excitedly, seeing the master who brought her to the temple in the first place. Little Soka Plo greeted her happily. Come on, let's get these clones to the medical facilities, Ula said to Talon, seeing the injured. Do you have that on this ship? Anakin asked curiously. Do you have one on yours? Why would you assume I wouldn't have one on mine? Naruto questioned. Well, this ship kinda looks like a painted hunk of junk, Ahsoka said. What did that tangerine meatbag say about my ship? HK yelled as he made his way over. Naruto blocked HK's path to Ahsoka. Stand down, HK, or I will deactivate you, Naruto ordered. Fine, master. I spare her not only because of your orders, but because she is a betrothed to you. And therefore, due to your meatbag mother's programming, I cannot harm them, HK said as he walked back to the controls. Yeah, don't insult the ship around him, Naruto advised. Sorry, Ahsoka said nervously as Naruto looked at her, which made her nervous for some reason. No one explained the betrothal thing to you, huh? Naruto stated rather than asked. Well, it's not exactly common among Jedi. At all, Anakin said. Except in the old days when Revan and various other Jedi were able to get married, provided they didn't try and change the code for all Jedi, Naruto said. My status is in similar regards to that, Naruto explained, as he led Anakin and Plo and the clones to the medical bay, leaving Ahsoka with Ula and Talon. Tell that medical droid I hate him, master. HK yelled as Naruto left. Ula watched Ahsoka, who was trying to calm herself after Naruto left. You can relax, you know. Naruto isn't like other royals, he's not gonna treat you like some prize, Ula said as she placed her hand on her shoulder to comfort her. Not to mention the engagement is only preliminary. If neither of you are comfortable with each other, it can be broken. It just has a year for you two to get to know each other and agree on it first. Same as with the other two Jedi he's betrothed to, Talon explained. Ahsoka looked up at this, surprised. Who else is he engaged to? She asked. Ah, you're already worried. Don't worry, your skin is orange like he likes, so that's a plus in your favor, Ula said with a teasing tone. Except he's engaged to another Togruta as well, green meatbag. That council member, HK said. Yay, but she's more reddish, you idiot, Ula yelled at him. All you meatbags look alike. HK yelled back. Ashoka's eyes widened in surprise at this as she recognized who HK and Ula described. Master Shakti agreed to this? She asked, surprised. She was an ally to the master's mother back in the old days, tangerine meatbag. She may have helped his mother come up with the idea in the first place, HK explained. They haven't even met yet, you moron, Ula said as she rolled her eyes. I meant the idea of the betrothals Kushina came up with. This council meatbag may have helped her create them. Stupid green meatbags and their selective hearing, HK grumbled. Ula growled at this as she reached over to HK and switched off his voice box again. Ah, peace at last, Ula said. Now tell me, young Padawan, do you like my lord? Talon asked with a firm tone. Young? I'm 16, Lady Ahsoka said, feeling a little insulted. Also, Talon, they just met, Ula deadpanned. It's my job to question women interested in my lord, Talon said simply. I'm the captain of his guard. That's my job, Ula told her. Yes, but I took my lord's virginity, Talon grinned at the memory. Because you tied me up and locked me in a closet while you threw yourself at him in his bedchambers, Ula growled at her fellow Twi'lek. Oh, if it makes you feel any better, when our lord gets to that other Twi'lek you can join her in servicing him, Talon grinned. Oh, other Twi'lek? Ahsoka asked nervously as she compassed herself. She's the other Jedi betrothed to Naruto. Jedi General Ila Sakura, Ula explained with a sigh at Talon spilling everything. Ahsoka gained a surprised look on her face at this. Night, Ila Sakura? She asked in surprise. Yeah. She's currently watching over Tython for us with her fleet while we are on this mission. Talon explained to the Padawan. So what skills do you two have? Ahsoka asked the two women, trying to change the subject. I'm excellent at stealth and lightsaber combat. I'm also an excellent sensor with the Force, Talon explained. I'm skilled with blades, blasters, hand-to-hand combat, computer slicing, and combat medicine, Ula told her. Ahsoka nodded at this as they all continued to talk. Later. Alright, the clones are being healed. Master Plo, could you explain what attacked you? Naruto asked as they all gathered into the cockpit. A new separatist warship. It was armed with an ion cannon. It disabled my cruiser and also the escape pods as we tried to leave. The only reason we survived is because of the debris field. We should leave immediately, however. Destroying those pod hunter droids may make them return to finish the job, Plo Koon explained seriously. Ship incoming, Master HK exclaimed from the cockpit. If they have an ion cannon, then shut off all technology. Naruto yelled at everyone. The group scrambled to shut off the ship and all droids. Including HK, who was shut off by Ula, and the medical droid tending to the clones done by Talon. They all watched as a massive ship came into view out of hyperspace as if searching for survivors. No one do anything, Naruto ordered seriously. Before long the ship left as it couldn't find any sign of technology being used. We need to follow that thing, Anakin suggested. Negative, Skywalker. We need to escape. If it catches us on radar we will be powerless and slaughtered, Plo Koon said. I agree with Master Plo. We're not gonna be able to scratch that thing with just our ship. We need reinforcements and a plan. Naruto said seriously as he turned back on HK-57. So this was just a rescue mission? HK asked annoyed. HK, we already knew it was an intel and rescue mission. We have important intel to bring back so we can take out that ship and whoever's helming it, Naruto said. It's helmed by General Grievous, Plo Koon supplied helpfully. Who's that? HK asked. The GD Hunter and Cyborg. He's the Separatists' main strategist and general for most of their campaigns, Anakin explained. Cyborg, HK yelled in fury. Oh, for Tunk's sake, here we go, Naruto said with a sigh at HK. Oh, I'm gonna shove my foot so far up his meatbag fast he'll be tasting metal for the rest of his life for daring to impersonate a droid. HK growled. He would tear you apart. Let's let him try, Ula said with a smirk at the idea. He's a GD hunter, right? Well, no, meatbag is programmed to hunt GD better than me, HK said with a confident tone. Okay, so what's the plan? Ahsoka asked curiously. We get Master Plo back to your guys' fleet. We make a plan of attack on this. What's the warship's name? Naruto asked Plo. The Malevolence, Master Plo said simply. No, seriously, what's it called? Talon asked disbelieving. It's called the Malevolence, Plo reiterated. Ahahaha. That meatbag sucks at naming. HK yelled as he laughed. Okay, we take Master Plo back to your fleet and consult with Master Obi-Wan and Yoda to make a plan of attack. As of now, any attack on the Malevolence is priority before it can take out any more fleets, Naruto said seriously. Still a stupid name, HK said with a chuckle. Let's just get back to the fleet, Ula said as Talon went to turn back on the medical equipment for the injured clones, now that they were sure the Malevolence had left the system. Days later with Anakin's fleet. Naruto and Anakin were standing before a hologram of Yoda and Obi-Wan. This Malevolence is a threat to the Republic war effort, no question. Obi-Wan said, stroking his beard in thought, as after they had rescued Plo Koon the Malevolence had destroyed several GD-manned Republic fleets. Ul is currently tracking the Malevolence. It seems it's heading towards the Kaliida Shoals Medical Center, Naruto said seriously. Disturbing, this is, Yoda hummed in thought. Leave it to us, we can handle this, Anakin said. Grievous wants to take out our medical station and our fleets. Well, maybe it's time someone took him out, Anakin said seriously. I like this meatbag. He gets results. HK yelled happily as he liked this idea. I can have a small squadron of bombers strike at the bridge and take out Grievous once and for all, Anakin said. Agree to this plan, I do. Master Kenobi, on standby with your fleet, you should be. Does not get destroyed, in case for. Yoda suggested as if Anakin failed they needed a backup plan. Of course, Master. I shall be on standby, Anakin awaiting updates, Obi-Wan said before he and Yoda's holograms disappeared. So what's the plan, Sky Guy? Naruto asked with a smirk as he called Anakin by Ahsoka's nickname. Easy whiskers, I have a plan, Anakin smirked as he beckoned Naruto to follow him to the hangar. Hangar? Why wing bombers? Naruto questioned. It's our best shot at taking out the Malevolence bridge. A full fleet would be dead in the water, so to speak. Anakin said as he watched his squadron start to prepare for takeoff in the bombers. Master, with all due respect, this plan is very aggressive. It can end very badly if we're not careful, Ahsoka told her master. Trust me, Snips. This plan is perfectly fine. Anakin said as he checked over his bomber. So which one's mine? Ahsoka asked her master as she walked over to the bombers. You're with me, he said, making her stop. You'll be my gunner. Besides, I need someone to watch my back. Broadside could do that. Besides, you have R2, Ahsoka pointed out. Hahaha, the meatbag doesn't want the tangerine meatbag alone with Master Ao. HK-57 was saying before he was smacked in the back of the head by Naruto. No, he just hates my flying. Don't you, Master? Ahsoka questioned flatly. Of course not. Anakin said a little too quickly, which didn't help his case. Skywalker, Plo Koon called out as he walked over. This journey you undertake with your men is treacherous. If even a single ship gets destroyed, your chance of success will astronomically deteriorate. Plo said seriously. We'll be fine, Anakin reassured. Master Plo is right, Skywalker. My team and I will join as a fighter escort, Naruto said walking forward. As will I, Plo said to them. Very well. Get ready to launch immediately, then Anakin said as he and Ahsoka jumped into a Y-wing. HK, man the ship. Naruto ordered as he walked towards the Golden Eagle. Of course, Master. Which meatbag will serve as gunner and co-pilot? HK questioned. Ula, she's an expert marksman. Probably better than you, Talon said with a smirk. I am offended, red meatbag. HK yelled in anger. Oh, don't get your joints all rusted. I hate working with you just as much as you hate working with me, Ula told him. Why not have a competition to see who takes out the most ships? Talon asked. You're on. HK and Ula yelled at each other liking this idea. Talon and I will stay in the cockpit as for support. Clearing any debris when needed, Naruto said simply. A good plan. Lord Uzumaki Plo Koon nodded in agreement, knowing him and Anakin wouldn't be able to use the force while focusing on piloting their ships. Alright, let's go, Anakin ordered as the ships took off. Shadow Squadron call in, Anakin ordered as he listened to the roll call of his squadron before they took off towards the Malevolence. Later. So no one mentioned how we're gonna beat the Malevolence to the medical station to me, Ula said over the comms. The ship is far too large to use conventional hyperspace routes. It has to take an alternate and longer course so it doesn't collide with anything. We're using a shortcut I found. An old smuggler's run. Anakin explained to the Twi'lek. An old smuggler's run? Naruto questioned curiously. Yeah, it's called the Balmorra Run, Anakin said as they flew through a large and thick mist. Did that meatbag just say Balmorra Run? HK yelled with wide photoreceptors. Yeah, why? Anakin asked, confused. Skywalker, the Balmorra Run is the nesting ground of the giant Nibre. Plo Koon shouted. Multiple contacts incoming. Ahsoka shouted as giant space worms shot upwards, nearly hitting all of them, but also hitting one of the bombers, damaging its wing. Matchstick. You okay? Ahsoka shouted in concern for the clone. My ship's losing stability. Matchstick yelled as a wing was damaged. Keep calm, Matchstick. Try to level it out. Anakin ordered. Matchstick took breath and regained control of the ship. I'm stable for now, sir. Matchstick said. We should immediately get out of here, Plo Koon ordered. No. If we retreat now, Grievous will destroy that medical station before they can evacuate. We can't risk it, Anakin told them. I have to agree with Skywalker. We're already in the route anyways, no other way to go, but forward, Naruto said as he agreed with the GD pilot. Plo Koon sighed at this. Very well, everyone stay alert. He ordered as he didn't want to lose anyone. We're almost out of the route, Anakin said as they made it out of the Balmorra Run moments later, arriving at the medical station. Just as the Malevolence came out of hyperspace. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, Talon groaned as she saw it appear. With Grievous. Sir, we have Republic fighters approaching. A battle droid stated to the general. Launch the ion cannon. Grievous ordered firmly. Roger, roger, the droid said as the ion cannon began to charge. With Naruto. It's gonna fire. Take evasive action. Naruto ordered. Hold on to your organs, meatbags. HK yelled as he flew the ship upwards at high speed as the ion cannon fired. Clearing the electric blast that would disable their ship. Unfortunately, half of Shadow Squadron including Matchstick were hit by the cannon before they were fired upon by the Separatist warship. Skywalker, you're down too many men. Retreat now. Plo Koon ordered as he dodged the cannon. No, we can still do this, Anakin said determinedly. Master, we don't have enough firepower to destroy the bridge with these few ships. We need a different target, Ahsoka said. Naruto sighed at this. I think I can give you all the opening to bomb the ship, but it won't be enough to take out the bridge regardless. Naruto said. Whatever it is, I'll take it, Whiskers, so let's see it. Ahsoka yelled over the comms as her master dodged blaster fire by barrel rolling. Haha, isn't that what you said to the master when you first threw yourself at him, green meatbag? HK asked, cackling. And you're muted for the rest of the mission, Talon said as she used the force to flip his voice box off. You mother, HK was yelling before he was silenced, but he still flew the ship since orders were orders. Men aim for the ion cannon. Anakin ordered after contemplating if they could even take out the bridge. Naruto took a deep breath as he closed his eyes and focused and started to reach out with the force, and soon he reached out his hands and made a sharp clenching motion. With this, the turrets on the Separatist warship started to groan and twist as one by one they were ripped out of the ship and left to float in space. Whoa, Ahsoka said with wide eyes looking at this feat in awe. Such command of the force. It's remarkable, Plo Koon said watching this as well. Naruto fell to one knee and panted at this. Skywalker, take the shot. He yelled into his comm as Talon went to check on him. Might as well help as well, Talon said as she held a hand out with the force and threw the ripped turrets into the ship's hull. Hoping to bombard it with its own turrets. With Grievous. What is going on? Grievous demanded as he glared at his droid. It would seem all our turrets have been ripped out of the ship, a battle droid explained. What? All of them, Grievous growled in fury. We are being bombarded by attack fire, sir. A battle droid yelled out as the ship shook. Boom. Correction, our ion cannon is disabled via bombing. The hyperdrive is also damaged, the droid said. GRRR, retreat. Grievous yelled just as Obi-Wan's fleet arrived out of hyperspace. With Anakin. Nice job, Anakin, we'll take it from here, Obi-Wan said as his ship pursued the damaged Separatist warship. Good luck, Master, Anakin told him over the comm before turning it off and just sitting in silence. You did what you could, Skywalker. Naruto panted out over the comm as he and Talon were catching their breaths from their use of the force. Anakin said nothing at this as he felt he could have done more for his men. If you dwell on what-if scenarios you'll miss out on the present and future. Don't let their deaths be in vain by wishing you could have done more. Use their sacrifice as motivation to be better, Naruto told him. Master, we're being hailed by the medical facility to board, Ahsoka told him after letting Naruto's words sink in. I'll bring us in, Anakin said after a moment of silence. We'll join you, Ula told him as the two ships pulled into the station, along with Plo Koon's starfighter. Medical station. He's taking it hard, Ahsoka said to Naruto as they walked down a corridor of the station. It's to be expected. I've been with you a short time, but I see the devotion and loyalty that your clones have towards you. And Skywalker repays that loyalty with his own. Naruto said as the 501st was almost like a family of soldiers rather than a fleet from what he saw. Any advice? Ahsoka asked. As much as I wish I could offer advice, I'm still dealing with a recent loss of my own. If I have an answer though, I'll be sure to let you know. But for now he needs some time. Naruto told her with a sad smile on his face. Brave Jedi. I thank you for your arrival and saving of this medical station. A Kamadan woman named Nala C walked to the gathered group and bowed in gratitude. Thank you, Miss Nala C. I just wish so many didn't have to die to save it though. Anakin said despondently. They may have died, but not in vain, Master Jedi. Their deaths lead to the survival of thousands of wounded clones. It is a sad sacrifice for sure. But they willingly gave it up to save their brothers. Nala C explained as Anakin nodded. We should make preparations to help General Kenobi. Ula told the group after Nala C left them alone. I shall stay on this station and assist Nala C for now. Plo Koon stated you all should travel to Kenobi's fleet in one ship for speed. The bombers I will arrange a pickup for, Master Koon explained. We'll take my ship, Naruto told them as it had the most room and best features compared to the tight enclosed bombers. That is much appreciated, Anakin said with a nod. Don't touch my weapons, chair or console and we'll get along fine, meatbags, HK warned them seriously. Listen to him. He's killed for far less than that, Talon explained. Oh, you kill 5 people for 20 credits and everyone complains, HK said irritated. 4 weeks ago you killed 6 people for 19 credits, Ula deadpanned at the killer droid. And with my pen I used to stab meatbags in the eye. HK said as his hand shifted and had a pen come out of the palm. Like a blade stabbing through his palm. Are we sure the battle droids are the threat? Ahsoka asked concerned. Oh, mate with the master already, Tangerine meatbag HK told her. Like hell. Anakin yelled protectively. God damn it, HK, Naruto groaned at his psycho droid best friend. And I have had my fun. Wake me when we get to kill meatbags. HK said before he powered down. Damn psychotic droid knows we have to carry him to the ship, Ula grumbled as her and Talon worked together to carry HK back to the ship. I think this may be the first non-battle droid I hate, Anakin muttered, irritated at the crazed droid. On the Golden Eagle. Naruto was in the cargo bay meditating as the ship was being prepared for launch. Anakin was getting something to eat from the food synthesizer, Ula was checking over the ship with HK before they took off. Unknown to HK, he had a bumper sticker on his back that said my co-pilot is the voice in my head, courtesy of Ula, who wanted to get even with the droid for making her carry him. As for Talon, well. Come on Millard, we can have some fun back here and no one will know, she purred out watching him meditate. I'm meditating with Ahsoka in 2 minutes, Talon, Naruto told her. She can join in. Would probably be good to start with the betrayed Padawan before working your way up the other Jedi who need a good beeping. Talon said with a smirk. Naruto sighed at this and looked at his lover Talon. I want to be her friend and if something happens it happens, but I don't want to push her into anything, Naruto told her firmly. Talon sighed at this but smiled. Poor girl doesn't have a chance with you being so sweet. It's what got me and Ula after all, Welled, and your massive bis breaker of a beep stretching out our holes until we were brain dead dumpsters, Talon smirked. Okay, you're done, go make sure Ula and HK don't fight, Naruto ordered. Did you put this stunking bumper sticker on me? Meatbag HK was heard yelling while Ula was heard laughing. Too late for that, but fine. I'll leave you two alone. Have fun, Tangerine butt, Talon smirked as she walked past a blushing Ahsoka who heard everything from Talon. I'm sorry about her if she made you uncomfortable, Naruto said as Ahsoka entered the room. It's okay. I'll be fine. Just something to get used to, I guess. Ahsoka stuttered out a little embarrassed. You can relax around me, Ahsoka, I may be a lord, but with my friends, I'm just Naruto, Naruto said with a smile. Oh yeah, I never got an answer, what is a Jedi Lord? Ahsoka asked as she never came across such a thing in her studies. I would like to know too, Anakin said as he made his presence known behind the door. And this has nothing to do with you wanting to be a protective older brother, essentially, Naruto deadpanned. Less being a smart mouth and more talking whiskers, Anakin said simply while Ahsoka gave him a flat look. Fine. The Jedi Lords are an archaic form of Jedi long before the days of Darth Bane and his rule of used to rule over planets and castles before the Jedi Order was truly founded as it is now. My family is the only lordship left in the galaxy, as far as I'm aware, as many lords had rejoined the order by then. The same basic principles apply to us as must Jedi. Only main difference is I can date or be married unlike other Jedi. Naruto explained. I bet some of the council don't like that, Anakin said as he thought of some of the council members. Unfortunately for them, I was raised outside the temple, so their authority on relationships has no power over me. Not to mention my mother was trained by Yoda himself, so no one would want to fight against her on this, barring maybe Luminaria. Oh wow. She was trained by Master Yoda? Ahsoka asked with wide eyes. Yeah, she was his apprentice after Dooku reached knighthood, Naruto explained. Anakin scowled at this, seeing as Dooku was the one who chopped his arm off. My father on the other hand was an apprentice to Mace Windu, Naruto said with a sad smile at the thought of his dad. Oh. I'm sorry, Ahsoka said as she lowered her head in respect. It's alright. It's just still fresh is all. Anyways, by all accounts the Lord title shouldn't exist anymore, however my family was given a solemn duty in exchange for keeping our lordship title, and our differing methods, Naruto started to say before he paused. And that is? Anakin asked curious. We were tasked with protecting Titan to the end of our very existence. Naruto said firmly. Anakin and Ahsoka nodded at this as they understood. Now you wish to join me for meditation, Ahsoka? Naruto asked the young Jedi. Yes, I was also hoping you could explain how you tore the turrets from the malevolence in no time at all, Ahsoka said. Not much to it, I have been training in the Force since I could walk, Naruto said as she sat down on a mat nearby. Ahsoka sat down across from Naruto on her own mat. So could you teach me a little? She asked shyly as she blushed a little. Hey, what about my teaching? Anakin asked indignantly. I wouldn't want to step on your master's teachings, Naruto said with a chuckle at Anakin. Nah, it's fine, I'm just messing with her. Better to take teachings from multiple sources to adapt than for using only one source till it becomes stagnant, Anakin explained. Very well, I'll be sure to teach her all that I know, Naruto said as he nodded. Anakin nodded at this as he went to leave, but stopped to look back at them. Oh, and if you hurt her in any way, Lord or not, you're dead, he said simply before he left and the door closed behind him. Ahsoka blushed at this but groaned at her master's teasing. Well, that happened. Shall we begin? Naruto asked the Togruta Padawan, ignoring Anakin's threat. Ahsoka nodded at this before they both started to meditate together as the ship flew to its next destination. Obi-Wan stood before the viewport screen as he watched his flagship, as well as two more Republic Venator-class Star Destroyers chase and fire at the damaged and fleeing Separatist warship, the Malevolence. Concentrate fire on their engines. Their shields are holding from our assault. We must cut off their escape, Obi-Wan ordered the crew of the Negotiator. At once, General. A clone under his command from the 212th Attack Battalion responded. The Golden Eagle. Naruto's personal starship exited hyperspace in the midst of the chase between Obi-Wan and Grievous. General Kenobi, what's the situation? Ula asked over the communicators when she sent a message to Obi-Wan. You all sure took your time. I thought I'd have to win a battle without Anakin trying to get me killed for a change, Obi-Wan quipped over comms. You calling me slow meatbag? I'll shove that lightsaber up your AHK-57 was shouting till Talon muted him. You all should enter the hangar. I'll fill you in on the situation on the bridge, Obi-Wan said simply before hanging up. Better go tell Lord Naruto and Ahsoka we're about to land, Ula said to Talon, while HK struggled to unmute himself. OP is balls deep in the newbie, Talon chuckled. Oh please Lord Naruto plays the slow game, Ula rolled her eyes. In with me, Talon said with a smirk. Yeah, cause you threw yourself at him like a slut. HK yelled as he finally unmuted himself. You calling me easy? Talon growled as she glared at the droid. I'm calling all you biologicals disgusting. Shooting gnaw at each other. I find it offensive. HK yelled in anger. And then Talon immediately muted him again. Just go let Naruto and Ahsoka know please, Ula sighed. What about Skywalker? Talon asked. I'm standing right behind you. Anakin deadpanned. I swear I can still hear his voice, Talon said with a mocking smirk. What did I do to you? Anakin asked as he didn't think he crossed the Twi'lek. Call it preemptive for when you do cross me, Talon smirked as she went to Naruto's door and banged on it, step away from the Togruta. I don't care if she has in fast like you like. Talon said before literally booting the door open, showing Naruto and Ahsoka sitting on the floor, showing they were still meditating. Talon, the door was unlocked. And a sliding door, Naruto deadpanned while Ahsoka blushed as her concentration waned. I know. I was testing her concentration, Talon said. It needs work, Talon said to Ahsoka simply. Asuka frowned at this before Naruto patted her on the shoulder. You have talent, Ahsoka. You will get better. Just try to ignore my insane Twi'leks, Naruto said with a smile. Hey, I'm not just some psycho Twi'lek, dammit. I'm the psycho Twi'lek. Talon yelled loud and proud. What do you want? Naruto asked flatly. "We're pulling into Kenobi's flagship," Talon said. "Simply stop your meditating and get ready to help out with ending the cyborg and his tinker toys," she said as she left the room. Naruto got up and helped Ahsoka to her feet. "We should go see what we can do to end Grievous," Naruto said simply before the two headed to the bridge. Bridge of the Negotiator. Kenobi patiently awaited the arrival of his former Padawan, and the Jedi Lords companions. "HK, leave that clone alone," Naruto yelled through the doors. "But master," he looked at me funny. HK yelled. "'Cause you're a tunking assassin droid, you moron," Ula was heard yelling. "No, I know what it is, he's anti-droid. Always keeping us down with their laws and programming. You won't take my rights, damn it," HK yelled. "What rights? You obey Naruto and to an extent his mom," Talon deadpanned. "Oh, suck off the master, red meatbag," HK yelled as the door opened to the bridge revealing Obi-Wan staring deadpan at them. "You heard all that, didn't you?" Naruto deadpanned. "Interesting company you keep, Lord Uzumaki," Obi-Wan said with a tone of sarcasm. "Better than yours, meatbag," HK said as he looked at the clones. "Such a waste of technology to make meatbags. My predecessor would be sparking in fury over this," HK said with a head shake. "HK, for the last time, Revan's HK unit wouldn't care," Ula sighed in irritation. "You don't know that, green meatbag," HK yelled. "And I'm done, HK, go plan out how you're gonna kill Grievous and his toys," Naruto said as he pointed at a corner. "As you wish, master." "Oh, I haven't planned out a murder since that fight pit on Trandosha," HK said giddily as he went to the corner. "I now have a new tolerance for C-3PO," Obi-Wan sighed as he couldn't imagine dealing with that HK unit every day. "What's the situation, master?" Anakin asked as he and Ahsoka just let things play out at this point between Naruto's team. "Grievous is still trying to escape. We have 3 flagships chasing after him. Currently we are trying to focus our assault on the engine to cast him adrift for a final takedown," Obi-Wan said simply. "So you've got this then," Ahsoka said simply. "Not quite, Snips," Anakin said as he shook his head. "If there's one thing about Grievous I know is that he always has a plan," Obi-Wan said. "That I love ruining the plans of guys like this," Naruto said with a grin. Before anyone could respond, a clone spoke up. "We have a ship coming out of hyperspace, sirs," he yelled just as a silver Naboobian yacht came out of hyperspace. "Anakin, is that?" Obi-Wan said, trailing off as he recognized that ship. "Padme?" Anakin asked with wide eyes before he rushed to a communicator to get in contact with Padme. "Padme, what are you doing here?" he asked as this was a hot zone, not a place for her to be. "Anakin? What's going on?" "The Chancellor told me these are the coordinates for a meeting with the Supreme Executive of the banking clan," Padme explained worriedly. Naruto paused at this and raised an eyebrow as this sounded like a lame excuse, but then again he didn't trust politicians. Or space clowns. Or political space clowns. "Oh dear me." C-3PO shouted in fear as Padme's yacht was caught in a tractor beam. "Get out of there," Anakin ordered before seeing Padme's yacht get sucked into the malevolence via tractor beam. "And now he has a hostage," Talon said with a scowl. "That didn't take you meatbags long." "Ha!" HK yelled out as he laughed. "Anakin, don't worry about me. Destroy the ship," Padme yelled before the communications were cut off. Anakin slammed his fist on the table in frustration. "Relax, we can sneak in and save her," Naruto said as his team was pretty good with infiltration. "The master is right. We'll make sure there are no witnesses," HK said gleefully at the chance to kill things. "Remember, you are forbidden from killing anyone on the team or Padme and her droid," Naruto said, making it clear to his droid. "Other than that, go nuts," Talon said with a grin. "You are officially my favorite of the master's meatbag conquests," Red Meatbag HK said happily as he pulled out a blaster. "Let's go kill things," he yelled. "I'm coming with you," Anakin said determinedly. "I shall go as well," Obi-Wan said, sighing. "Okay, you, me, and Talon will go find a way to disable and destroy the ship from the inside. Anakin, Ahsoka, Ula and HK go save the senator," Naruto said. "On it, I'll scrap whatever droid looks at me funny and clear the path for the Jedi to go save his squeeze," HK said as he readied his blaster. "Squeeze?" Obi-Wan asked with a raised eyebrow at Anakin to see if he'd react. "Old slang." "HK, I said stop being a smartest to allies," Naruto said as while it seemed obvious, Anakin was obviously hiding his relationship because of the Jedi code. "Yeah, save it for the enemy," Ula said as she rolled her eyes. "Geez, these Jedi are no fun. No wonder you all look like you're miserable," HK grumbled as he made his way back to the ship. "We'll take the Twilight to dock," Anakin said quickly as he wanted to avoid any attention to thoughts that he and Padme were together. He wasn't a lord like Naruto, so he needed to keep it hidden. And even then, Naruto was a very special case. The Malevolence. The Twilight latched onto the Malevolence via an emergency airlock, allowing the group to enter the ship undetected to complete their goals. "Man, I sure hope no GD randomly shows up to scrap us a random battle," droid said to his companion as they walked down a corridor to a doorway. Suddenly HK dropped down out of an air vent onto the droid's friend. "Nope, I'm worse. Dance bis." HK yelled as he opened fire on the remaining battle droids. "At least. It wasn't a GD," the droid groaned out from the floor before powering down due to a multitude of blaster fire. "Okay meatbags, the droids are all scrapped," HK yelled up through the vent. "Wow, you get results, don't you?" Ahsoka asked as she dropped down from the vent. "Damn straight meatbag. Revere and praise me," HK ordered as he waited for praise. "There are more behind you," Ula said flatly as she dropped down from the vents along with Anakin. "Ah, intruders. Sound the alarms." A battle droid yelled at his 5 companions. "Intrude this gahahahaha," HK yelled as he fired his blaster at the 6 droids before them, ending them in a barrage of blaster fire. "Ah, just like shooting womp rats on Tatooine," HK said gleefully. Before anyone could respond, Anakin's wrist comm beeped signaling someone contacting them. "This is Skywalker," Anakin answered. "I'm gonna assume you're in the ship planning a rescue," Padme's voice said simply through his communicator. "Ahahaha. Dance, you pathetic piles of scrap. You almost make me wish I was a meatbag," HK yelled as he chased some battle droids as he fired at their legs. "Something like that," Anakin said sheepishly through the comms. "Look, 3P0 and I were able to escape Grievous momentarily by blowing up my ship. We'll meet you at the transportation hub," Padme said. Anakin smiled at this as he put away his comm. "You have a good woman there," Ula said as she fired at a droid that was missing its lower half and crawling away. "I have no idea what you're talking about," Anakin said quickly. "Faster even I know, you're lucky other GD are stupid when it comes to this," Ahsoka deadpanned. "You're not gonna tell anyone?" Anakin asked as he frowned while slashing a droid's head off. "Nah, after talking to Naruto I see this rule is a bunch of crap. Besides, I'm technically engaged so I can't judge," Ahsoka said as she sliced a droid in half. "Yeah, and I'm not one to tell," Ula said as she expertly dogged around some droids' fire and blasted their heads off. "Not me. I will require a bribe," HK yelled as he threw a grenade down a hallway at a group of droids that were blown to smithereens. "Naruto said you will get no such thing," Ula said simply. "Fine, but I want first crack at that cyborg punk. Damn cyborg's giving us droids a bad name, I can give us all bad names myself," HK yelled as he spotted more droids. "Oh goody. Leftovers," he yelled as he pulled out a second blaster. "I never want to meet the person who programmed you," Anakin deadpanned. But Naruto, Talon, and Obi-Wan. The 3 had crawled through and dropped down a different vent to see if they could find ways to disable the ship from the inside. Specifically its hyperdrive, since if that got repaired they'd be unable to finally destroy it. "If Anakin and Senator Amidala are gonna rendezvous at the transportation hub, we should try and find the hyperdrive core," Obi-Wan said, as they also had heard the transmission via Anakin's communication frequency. "The hyperdrive core is most likely near the engines," Talon said simply before the 3 spotted a group of 10 battle droids running in their direction. "Ah. The intruders are already here," one droid yelled, freaked out and terrified. "I thought they were on the other side. How did they get here?" "They already know we're here?" Obi-Wan asked curiously. "Your droid made quite a commotion on my ship," a coughing voice said from behind them as the 3 turned to see General Grievous himself. In all his cyborg glory. "Yup, I'm so proud," Naruto said with a beepy smirk. The droids walked over to Naruto, Talon, and Obi-Wan, but Grievous held up a hand. "I shall deal with the GD scum here. You go make sure the hyperdrive is repaired," Grievous ordered before coughing. "You need a lozenge or something?" Naruto asked with a quirked eyebrow seeing the cyborg coughing. "No. What I need is your lightsabers for my collection," Grievous said after his coughing faded before he drew 2 lightsaber hilts and activated 1 blue and 1 green blade. "Along with your heads." Naruto, Talon, and Obi-Wan took out their own lightsabers and activated them. Obi-Wan's hilt sprang a blue blade. Talon's was a blood red blade. And Naruto was a unique orange lightsaber blade that looked like flames itself. "Ooh, such pretty colors. They'll make wondrous additions to my collection," Grievous said. "We're not gonna lose to some wannabe droid," Talon said before she dashed at Grievous and sent a strike at his chest which Grievous blocked with a green blade. Obi-Wan used this opportunity to leap and send a strike overhead at Grievous, who parried him with his own blue lightsaber. Naruto rushed at Grievous from the side to skewer him, but Grievous pushed Talon away and used both blades to stop Naruto's strike. With Anakin slashed another battle droid in half as he, Ahsoka, Ula, and HK obliterated a battalion of battle droids as they entered the transportation hub. Seeing large trains on energy rails moving back and forth to the front and back of the large separatist battleship. "Where is she?" HK asked before on the opposite side, Padme and C-3PO came out of a similar doorway. "Padme?" Anakin yelled as he planned to jump to her from across the tracks. "Ani?" Padme sighed in happiness. Anigahahahaha. HK yelled as he cackled madly. Oh, that's the second best nickname I've ever heard. HK laughed. What's the first one? Ashoka asked curiously. Oh God, Ula said as she rolled her eyes. Let me tell you a tale, tangerine meatbag of the story of HK was saying before he was cut off. Regale her of you being a moron later, Ula said as Anakin used the force to jump to Padme. Before they could embrace, however, battle droids came up from behind them, blasting at the husband and wife. But several were blasted by laser fire. Boom. Headshot. 20 points. HK yelled as he laughed. One of yours? Padme deadpan seeing the crazed droid. He wishes. Now duck meatbag. HK yelled as he fired again. What did he call before Padme could respond? Anakin pulled her down to duck under HK's fire. Oh my. C-3PO yelled trying to move. Unfortunately, C-3PO stepped on one of the transport carts and started going down the rails of the ship. P0. Padme yelled seeing him now on a cart being carted off to who knows where of the ship. Leave it to a protocol droid to tunk up. HK yelled as Ula blasted the rest of the battle droids. Hey, they were mine to dismantle. HK yelled irritated. Ula pulled out a grappling hook gun and fired it at the protocol droid before he went too far down the tracks. Grab on. Ula yelled at the droid. Oh dear. Where's R2 when you need him? C-3PO asked before he grabbed a grappling hook. Ula clicked a button and her grappling gun and the line receded, forcefully pulling 3PO to them. Thanks for the save, Anakin said as he jumped back over carrying Padme after a force-enhanced jump. It's what I do. Making meatbags feel inferior gives me what would be the droid equivalent of life, HK said simply. Where did you dig this guy up? Padme asked. It's a long story, Anakin said as he sighed and shook his head. Well, you have time for you tell your meatbag lover the full story while I go assist the master, HK said simply as he moved to leave. What are you talking about? Padme asked, wondering why the droid would imply something from their totally legitimate and not at all a secretist marriage encounter. Hyperdrive core repaired at 50%. A droid voice shouted over the intercom. HK Ula was saying before he jumped onto a transport cart. Come to my blasters, all of you. HK shouted as he jumped onto a cart, cackling as he rode down it, firing at random battle droids as he spotted them. Okay. Guess I'll go disable the hyperdrive core, Ula sighed in irritation. Anakin, get them back to the twilight. Ahsoka, you're with me, Ula said. You sure? Ahsoka asked with a smile at the Twi'lek. Of course, plus we can girl talk, Ula said as she smiled back as she led the way. Can you fill me in on this? Padme asked her husband. Anakin sighed at this before he started to explain the situation as they left towards the twilight. With HK. HK had made his way into a control room and was open firing on the droids inside. You have all been very bad droids. You have committed crimes, even the most. What did we do? A battle droid yelled in fear. You couldn't even kill meatbags. What kind of droid are you? Now dance bis. HK yelled as he blasted the rest of the droids. Oh, no more? HK asked as he looked around to a communication table. I can call droids up here to dismantle them. HK said as he started fiddling with the holoprojector to contact more droids. Wow, he has so few contacts, what a loser. Okay, let's see. I'll start with this A contact and go down the list, HK said. He pressed a contact and after a few moments a holographic image of a bald Dathomirian female appeared. She had D-cup friests, toned body, and a plump face. General, this better be import. Wait, who are you? The woman questioned with a glare. Better question, who are you? And impudent droid. You dare insult a Sith, the woman growled. Blah blah blah, my master wrecks an ex-Sith regularly. He'd probably enjoy doing the same to you, though I would grow out your hair if you want a shot. HK said. I will cut off your limbs and crush your body to dust. The woman growled. Better meatbags than you have tried. Now if you will excuse me, I have a cyberpunk fast to kill, HK said. Before HK could hang up, the door to the room opened and Grievous came running through the door, lightsabers activated. Following him were Obi-Wan, Talon, and Naruto with their own lightsabers. Speak of the devil. Hello, master. HK greeted. Little busy, HK. Naruto yelled as he sent a strike at Grievous, who parried it. Yay, so help out, damn it. Talon yelled as she leapt off a wall and slashed at Grievous, who dodged. On it. I have something special for you cyber bis. HK yelled as he took out a portable detonator. Is he serious? Obi-Wan asked as he slightly sweat as he hoped the mad droid wasn't that foolish. Oh crap. Talon, Kenobi, get to cover. Naruto yelled as he pulled them out the door they came from. HK, we can win without that. Talon yelled. Too late, this is more fun. Catch bis. HK yelled as he activated the detonator and threw it at Grievous before dashing out of the room to his master. The Tinker Toy thinks a detonator will defeat me. That's Adora Grievous was mocking before. Ooh. The entire ship shook as a massive explosion rang out, blasting the room to smithereens to the point the explosion ripped through the ship itself, jettisoning flames through the hull of the large battleship itself. "You psychotic bag of bolts," Grievous yelled, running out the door past Naruto and co. "Well, on fire. Flattery doesn't work on me, but tell your friends I'm coming for them," HK yelled at the fleeing Grievous. "You're such a moron, and what was with the hot bald woman you were talking to?" Naruto demanded of his droid as he pointed at the holographic image. "I was getting you a bald meatbag, Conquest Master," HK said as he pulled up a hologram image of her through his eye, since the communicator in the room was annihilated by HK's detonator. Ventress Obi-Wan said as he glared at the holographic image. "You know her?" Talon asked curiously as she looked at her and easily saw this woman was a Sith. "She's Dooku's assassin." Obi-Wan supplied simply. "We've crossed paths many a time," Obi-Wan said as they started making their way back to the twilight to leave, seeing as Grievous was abandoning ship it seemed. "Great, so he will probably send her after me next now that I have helped with all this," Naruto said as he sighed. "You act like he wouldn't have sent her after you anyway," Talon said as Tython was home to many ancient secrets. "Like she would kill you, Master, plus if you're lucky maybe you can turn her into a pet like the red meatbag here," HK said pointing at Talon, who then used the hilt of her lightsaber to bash him on his head for that comment. "I'm the only pet he needs," Talon yelled. "I don't know, she did look kinda hot, ow," Naruto was saying before Talon smacked him in the back of his head, making him cry out. "We should probably go before the hyperdrive core is fixed," Obi-Wan said while hiding his amusement at this. "Hyperdrive core repaired at 75%, a droid voice said over the paw. "Let's go," Naruto said as the three dashed to where the twilight was docked and ran into the ship. "You're late," Ulla and Ahsoka yelled as they were waiting in the ship with Padme, CPO and Anakin. "No time, we have to go before this ship goes into hyperspace," Naruto said. "Oh, it won't," Ulla smirked as she and Ahsoka flew the ship away. "What did you do?" Naruto asked as they all sat down in their seats. "Bomb in the core. Should be going off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Ahsoka said as she counted down. The separatist ship suddenly shook and shuddered as a large explosion ripped through the engines of the ship, casting the warship adrift in space. "Admiral, we have the Senator and are on our way back. Open fire on the Malevolence." Obi-Wan ordered the 3-star destroyers to end the ship once and for all. The Twilight flew to the negotiator and docked inside just as the Malevolence was finally destroyed. "And so ends the ship with a terrible name," HK said looking at the explosion via the window. Later, Naruto and the others were on the negotiator in a private meeting room. "So how is it that you as a GD can become married?" Padme asked confused. "My lord title came with some perks. However, the main reason is that my mother and I descended from a powerful GD who believed attachments made one stronger. Mom saving Yoda's life on a mission when she was his Padawan also helps," Naruto said. "So what is your plan now?" Anakin asked Naruto. "We're gonna head home for now. Ayla can't stay on Tython forever as she has her own battles to fight," Naruto said. Ahsoka frowned at this, which Naruto noticed. "If you ever wish to come by, all of you are welcome to visit Tython," Naruto said with a smile to the Senator, Protocol Droid, and 3 GD, who all smiled and nodded. "Okay, let's head home, I miss our bed," Talon said with a grin as she and Ulla left the room towards the Golden Eagle. Padawan, let's go do some training," Anakin said as he and Ahsoka left the room. "I would like to see this training you have in mind, General Skywalker," Padme said as she and 3P0 followed, leaving only Naruto, Obi-Wan and HK in the room. "If any of you need my help again, feel free to call," Naruto said to Obi-Wan as he and HK stood up to leave. "I don't suppose you could find a way for Anakin to get the same treatment with the whole attachments part of the code, could you?" Obi-Wan asked with a raised eyebrow. "Well, he could become a grey GD and work for me. Wait, you noticed it too?" Naruto asked as his interactions with Padme seemed obvious to him, but GD were usually terrible with feeling out emotional attachments. "I was his master, Lord Uzumaki. Of course I noticed. Anakin is many things, but secretive is not one of them," Obi-Wan deadpanned. "I suspect he knows that I know. So we just pretend I don't notice," Obi-Wan explained. "Well, like I said, all that's available is he quits the order and becomes a grey GD and works for me," Naruto explained. "Let's see what we can come up with down the line. Anakin and emotions have always been volatile to say the least. Him embracing grey GD teachings may cause issues not just with the order itself, but in him. For now this conversation never happened," Obi-Wan said simply. "Just ignoring them won't help anything. If anything, it will make the eventual blow up worse," Naruto said as he frowned. "Indeed. I agree with the assessment. All the same, his leaving now may cause more trouble for him and the Senator due to current affairs," Obi-Wan said. Naruto nodded at this before he and his droid left the room to head to their ship. They head back to Tython. To their home. But Ventress on his separatist ship. "What is thy bidding, my master?" Ventress asked the hologram of Dooku as she knelt before him. "General Grievous has lost a very important asset of ours. While he redeems himself, I have a very important task for you, my pupil," Dooku told the Dathomirian witch. Ventress looked up as Dooku made an holographic image of Naruto appear next to him. "This is Jedi Lord Naruto Uzumaki. You will find him on Titan. End his life and bring the secret and artifacts of his planet to me on Serrano," Dooku ordered. "I will not fail you, master," Ventress said as she bowed her head to her master. "See that you don't. Grievous may have failed with an important asset, but your poor performance on Christosis and with the Hutt child has not endeared you to me, child," Dooku said before the hologram ended. Ventress stood up and left for the hangar of the warship. Her next destination, Titan. End chapter. So this part ends here. If you want to see next part of this series, like the video now and share the story with your friends. Bye bye.